back to Marketing Decoded. I'm Bailey Brinson. This is the first time you're seeing me. This podcast is part 2 to our table talk. This is the rest of our team. So we're excited to give you a little bit of insight on who we are, where we come from, that kind of thing. So I'll get us started. We're going to go way back in time to when I was in high school. And I joined robotics. Y'all don't laugh. Already happening. It's fine. But I joined robotics because my friends were doing it, and I just thought it'd be fun and different, and realized that I'm not an engineer, not that kind of girly at all, and realized there was a whole other side to it of marketing, and that's kind of where I got my start. And then when I went to college, I decided to pursue a marketing degree, and I interned here at DMC. I think I was a junior in college. Interned here, got a part-time job, and then full-time after I graduated. And I've been here now for almost 7 years, 8 years, something like that. So I've done a little bit of it all. I started out with doing content writing, then went into account management. Then I fell into more bookkeeping and promotionals, and now I am Chief Operating Officer. So I still do those things, I still do all that stuff, and I think it has given me a lot of insight to helping others in the office, being able to say I've done a little bit of it all. And yeah, that's just like a quick background on me. Hunter has also been around for a while like me, so I'll pass it off to her.
So, I used to dance with our previous owner's daughter, and after I graduated from high school, I started working there, and then during the summer, dance studios usually aren't open, so I came to Scotty and I was like, I really need a job, and so she was like, okay, so I started as the receptionist and answering the phones, counting t-shirts and all that, and then I got thrown some accounts to write content for, and then got graphics to do, and after I got the graphics, I sort of backed off the content because I think I was just a little bit better at the graphics than the words part. I'm not good with words. And then I got thrown some website stuff, and now I'm a full-time graphic and website designer. So
did you do school for this, or did you just kind of...
No school. School is not for me. I mean, I went and got my associates, but after that I was like, okay, I'm done. I didn't want the student debt, so I just self-taught and taught by my coworkers.
Love it.
Yeah. What was your first account?
That's a good question.
That is a good question. That was 85 years ago. I think it was Turf Pros.
Nice.
Yeah. We've had them for a long time. I think that was the very first person client that I wrote content for.
What software do you think was the most challenging to teach yourself, like in Creative Cloud?
Illustrator. Me and Illustrator beefed. But now I actually prefer that one over Photoshop any day of the week.
I mean, You are the person I go to when I need some vectored.
Mm-hmm. Me and vectored.
Yeah. What's your favorite thing to do here?
I really like doing t-shirts, or designing t-shirts and finding the right t-shirts for clients and all that. And so while Bailey was out on maternity leave, Maggie here took over the promotionals, and she did a dang good job doing it. So how was that for you, Maggie?
It was very, very overwhelming. There was a lot of times where I was like, dear God, if Bailey does not come back, I'm going to lose my mind.
Category 5 spiral.
Yeah, but we made it.
Great. She did great.
We made it. Our clients had a lot of grace with me during that time too, because I had to learn a lot as I was doing it. And I have a whole new respect for Bailey, because I'm like, how does she do it all?
Well, I appreciate that. So give a little bit of your history, like how you got started here.
Okay. So my name's Maggie, and I'm an account manager at Davis Marketing Company. And so growing up, I really didn't know what I wanted to do. I have 2 parents in education, so like I always thought, well, if all else fails, I'll just go be a teacher, because that's kind of all I knew and grew up knowing was just like school and being a teacher, and I feel like that's what I was like expected to do. But I quickly realized that that is not what I wanted to do, and not what I would have been happy doing. So I wanted to go into marketing, but me and math do not get along at all. I had to have a math tutor from the time that I was in elementary school all the way to college. So I was like, marketing, numbers, no. So that's when I decided on PR, because it's more of like writing papers and I can yap, and that's just like writing a paper. So I was like, and I love to talk to people, so PR was just perfect. And Georgia Southern, which that's a whole nother thing. I told everyone I was never going to Georgia Southern. It was too close to home. I just did not think that I wanted to go to a school where everyone else went, but that's the best thing that could have ever happened to me. And so fast forward to my junior year of college, I needed an internship, so I applied, and I got an internship here, and then I started working part-time, and then when I graduated last May, so weird saying last May now because it's been a year and it does not feel like a year. But when I graduated last May, I got moved to full-time. So now I'm a full-time account manager.
She's been doing great. She says that she's a yapper, and she is. But that has lent itself to being a fantastic account manager, because we're all about relationships. That's something that I've learned from my years of being here, is these relationships that you build with clients, it is super, super important. And Maggie's done a great job with that. And so it's talking about relationships, we can pass it over to Brennan and let her talk about kind of what her role is here.
I'm Brennan. I'm head of agency growth here at Davis Marketing Company, and I joined the team back in August of last year. I started my professional career out after graduating from Georgia Southern. I graduated with a degree in communications, but I started my professional career out with a job in tech sales, which I did really love. I worked from home, and I loved my team. I was the only girl on my team, so we called ourselves
a big change up now that there's only one guy with us.
Well, I went from being in a sorority in college to being in a fraternity, it felt like, in my sales job. So it was great, but I really was kind of craving like that in-person, in-office collaboration, environment. I wanted a new job, so I started looking and came across a post that was made for, they were looking for an account manager. Well, then I came in and I interviewed, and they basically said, yeah, scratch that. You have sales and email marketing experience. We're going to bring you in for community outreach and, kind of managing DMC's brand, because I'm also, I like to be very creative and, plan out the big idea stuff. But I just kind of focus on, bringing in new clients, setting up meetings, getting our name out there, just DMC brand awareness overall, and how we can kind of scale that and do it very big, but also at a manageable level. And I kind of got in, like, a little background on how I even got into sales. I didn't really know that I wanted to do sales. I was a communications major. So some would joke that I watched commercials for the entirety of college, and that's just not true.
No.
Wrote lots of papers. Anyways,
I get you.
Ask me anything about APA 7.
Yes.
I got you. But anyway, I just didn't really have a particular field. I have lots of hobbies, so I figured that would be a good way to just navigate. And then I graduated college all of a sudden, and I was like, oh, I have to get a job now. What am I going to do? And sales just kind of knocked on the door, and the rest is history.
So what do you think has been the toughest part of running DMC, social media, and promoting our brand since you're so new to DMC?
Probably neglecting my own social media. Honestly, I don't think it was learning the culture and how to demonstrate it wasn't really a challenge. I think more so our understanding who we are in our brand. I think the biggest challenge was how can we give, or post, make posts surrounding advice in this industry, in this field, that not only makes sense to somebody with maybe little to no marketing knowledge, but it's also entertaining. And so it was kind of a learning curve at first. You know, we did some A/B testing with different campaigns. We tried out different strategies for posting, and I think we've kind of fell into our niche now. But yeah, I think honestly, the biggest thing was having every single person in our office to kind of lean on and pick their brain about what they do for clients and how they understand them, and, you know, change posting habits and what the content consists of, you know, just as social media changes.
Yeah. And then we're going to throw it to our resident male, Caven.
What's up? My name is Caven Thompson. I graduated last year, like Maggie, May of 2024. My journey is a little weird. When I was a kid, I was on my computer all the time, never went outside. And so I learned a lot of skills from different interests I liked. I had a lot of friends I used to get in a lot of fights with online. And from that community, I learned a lot of cool skills, like all the stuff I use here. And now I get to say I have clients when I'm at my old job, just chilling, talking to my coworkers, and they're like, "What are you doing now?" I'm like, "I got clients." So that's a lot of fun. But yeah, graphic designer, motion design, that kind of cool stuff.
What did you do before you came here?
I did graphic design for Georgia Southern, and I drew Gus the Eagle in as many ways as you can possibly imagine. That's what I did.
So what do you think is the biggest thing you learned at that job that you carry over to this one?
Ooh, motion graphics. I wanted to learn it before I got there, so I learned it a little bit before I got there, and then when I got there, I had so many opportunities to do it, like especially on Instagram with like GIFs. Like I made stickers of Gus.
GIFs?
Yeah, I made GIFs.
GIFs.
Gifts.
Either way is fine, just so everyone knows. I'm a giffer.
GIF.
I like GIF.
Oh my gosh, I'm outnumbered. I like the peanut butter, so.
Yeah, well.
So sorry, keep going.
But yeah, so I learned a lot of motion graphics. I learned how to talk to people a little bit, but I didn't really learn that until recently. So I learned it a little bit before, but now I learned it a lot recently. And yeah, that's pretty much what I got from Georgia Southern was that kind of stuff.
When you're surrounded by these girlies, you gotta learn how to talk. You gotta, you know, I think that's what's happened to you.
I'm picking up girl code. Like, I was texting someone yesterday, and they're like, "This is like talking to." It's one of my girl best friends. She's like, "This is like talking to a girl." I'm like, "Let's go." Most androgynous straight man ever.
Love that.
Let's go.
Love it.
Slay.
There you go. There you
Slay
go.
queen.
Yeah, that's, yep. Everyone slays. Everyone slays here.
Slay.
Crown, insert crown here.
What's your favorite thing to do as a graphic designer?
My worst skill is doing flyers, so because of that, when I am able to do flyers, it's a huge challenge, so I really have to push myself. So it's just like a nice little fun little obstacle that I can go through every time I want to do a flyer.
Love that.
So my favorite thing is my worst thing, I have to say.
I mean,
Yeah, I feel you on the layout.
Yeah, it's difficult.
Feel you.
graphic designers, you know, kindred spirits.
It's not just about making it look pretty. There's a science behind it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love the creative. I feel like everyone at this table is so creative. I'm like the least creative person out of
No,
everyone.
that's a good idea. You might not know how to
It's like,
execute.
it's once in a while.
No, I wouldn't say
No, Bailey, you're good.
They're just being too
Look,
nice.
you made Bennett. We're good.
That's true. I didn't make a cute baby, so I mean, I had some help with that, but yeah.
Slay Braxton.
Slay husband Braxton. So I guess we can kind of talk about like our history with DMC, since y'all are the newbies.
we go way back.
Yeah, we go way back. So we might have a future episode about the history of DMC, but I think something that was super beneficial for probably the both of us, even though I got a marketing degree, it was being here and experiencing real life that really taught me a lot, and I think Hunter as well.
Oh yeah.
And just also having experiences with all the different people that have worked here, we were able to learn a lot. And Scotty, the founder and creator of Davis Marketing Company, I really look up to her with a lot of different marketing aspects. She is just so smart and creative when it comes to a lot of things. So I'm glad that we had her as a mentor for sure. And Dennis is awesome too, but just to have that foundation with her was really great. And we learned a lot. What do you think was like the biggest like learning curve for you, like in the whole time you've been here? That's kind of a tough one, but
Knowing how to speak to people.
that is a big one.
So good at that. Though.
Yeah, you are. You are.
Yeah.
You gotta-
I mean, I think the first year I was here, I spoke 2 words, maybe.
Yeah, so fun story is me and Hunter had to go run an errand. Like, she had been working with us probably like a couple months, and I was like, hey, come run this errand with me. And it was a difficult car ride. It was a hard one. But then, you know, we're besties now.
And now I go to meetings by myself, and
Look at you go.
She answers the phone a lot.
Yeah. She's awesome.
She has her own landline and everything.
Truly. Truly.
I have a question for both of y'all.
Yes.
What would y'all say is the biggest difference in, like, since y'all were here early on, DMC when y'all first started versus in the capabilities versus now? Like, what would you say is the main focus then, and what the main focus is now, and just capabilities overall?
I feel like DMC has gone through so many evolutions, and it's because we're constantly trying to keep up with the trends and stuff like that. I think that in the beginning, and like even people that came before us, it was you get on social media and it's just words. Like, you don't have graphics or anything, and then you move into pictures and graphics, motion graphics, videos, and now utilizing AI like is a huge thing, and just constantly learning and just trying to stay on top of the trends is like really important.
yeah, I think so too.
The reason I ask is because I know that we mainly focused on grassroots when we first started out, and now people think that grassroots is this dying thing, and it's just completely not. But on top of that, so much more has built on, not even just in the marketing industry, but like with us and our capabilities.
Yeah, I think that's so true. You know, some people are still old school, and I think that's fine. I think there's certain businesses that need, you know, radio, newspaper, and billboards even. And that is, I think, was the primary focus when Scotty started this business. And now we've, you know, slowly moved into social media. Now we're fully there, and then moving into different things now, and just always figuring out the new thing. And even Kaven, I think, has brought a lot of new stuff to us, like that he's learned. Do you want to kind of talk about some of the new stuff you've introduced to us?
Especially the virtual.
Yeah,
that's so cool.
Yeah.
Yes. So I like experimenting with augmented reality. And so one of our clients is Downtown Live, which is a place where you can kind of come down there, see a bunch of musicians, like basically just performing in the middle of downtown Statesboro. And so I wanted to do something where you can bring Downtown Live at your house almost, and you kind of get like a preview of what's going to happen. So you just like put it down in the middle of like your living room, and you can rotate your phone and see like the stage, and you see like basically a facsimile of downtown Statesboro around you. I have little dancers, and I believe it went up as a social media post, so you can scan that and try it out. So stuff like that.
It's really cool.
It's pretty mind-blowing, honestly.
I haven't seen this.
Where have you been?
This happened.
Yeah, I sent an email. Do you not check your email?
Stop.
How many unopened emails do you have right now?
Next question. I don't know about that.
It's been a lot of fun.
Clip that.
It kind of reminds me of Google Maps, like what you see on Google Maps, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is a good
Yeah. I don't know.
good comparison.
When I first saw it, I was like, Google Maps.
Like the
Street view.
Street view.
Yeah,
Street view. There you go. Yes.
Yeah.
There you go.
But it has been really cool, like, for me and you to, like, be here, like, not at the beginning, but been here the longest and seeing how we've grown. Like, thinking back, like, you said, like, we literally just did post on Instagram and Facebook, and like, now we have the capability of doing, like, the virtual reality stuff.
Yeah,
it's really cool.
It's really awesome. And I was actually just having a conversation with Maggie the other day about, because Maggie's the same age as me when I first started. I'm not like old, but I mean, I'm old compared to everybody else. But like me as a person, as an individual, and as a marketer, have grown so much from age 23 to 25, now to 28. It's been like, you know, I've gone through my own evolution as well as Hunter, and I'm really excited to see everybody else go through their own evolutions as well. And I think it's really cool because sometimes people underestimate us because we are a younger team. But they're bringing new, fresh ideas, people. Like, you know, like we're old news. Like they're bringing on new stuff. So I'm just excited to see where things go. And, you know, we're really focusing on growth with Brennan and, you know, constantly learning new stuff. I feel like I've said that a million times, but it's the truth. We're always trying to learn new things. And I'm just really excited about that. Yeah.
Our frontal lobes may not be fully developed for most of us.
That's okay.
But we are so creative.
Yeah.
Because like we know what the trends are and coming up because like we are on social media like more than the older crowd. So I feel like it's definitely more of an advantage.
I would agree with that for sure.
Bridge that generational gap of understanding.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know, different audiences.
Because we grew up online too, so
Right,
it's always been
yeah.
around us since a young age. So we kind of have an idea.
I think I'm gonna start with webcams.
Yeah.
Mine was
Throw
too.
that-
Coming back.
I know they're coming back. I will definitely probably have an account.
I really wasn't like online, like y'all are talking about how
You
y'all
had the
were.
tabloids.
I had the I was reading People,
A magazine guy.
Us Weekly, whatever. Tiger Beat, J14.
A true grassroots queen.
Sometimes if I was really desperate for a tabloid, the National Enquirer. But everyone knew that was fake. I was, truly. I mean, I only got to Buc-ee's a couple weeks ago because of a billboard. I couldn't get on my phone. I was driving.
A true grassroots
And I
queen.
wanted to go to Buc-ee's. So, exactly, like, I'm grateful for grassroots.
Do you actually read like the exit signs too when you're on like the interstate?
Absolutely, absolutely. Are you kidding me?
I use Waze.
You trust your maps?
Yeah, but I shouldn't. I'm always getting lost in like Savannah.
Yeah, you know how many times it tries to reroute me? Mm-mm.
Oh, I have actually a fun story, and I actually just saw a girl that I went to school with. She drove to Gainesville, Georgia, and she was supposed to be driving to Gainesville, Florida. So sometimes you got to be looking at those signs, people.
Y'all,
Did she not realize she was going up instead of down?
Yeah. Just a case of the silly girls, you know, like.
Listen, when I was in high school, y'all, I didn't have unlimited data, okay?
Me either.
And I tried to hack into Verizon and change it to where I did, and it worked for about 2 months till my parents caught on. So I went back to no data. And when that data ran out,
Yeah.
the maps ran out.
Yeah.
And so I'd be on the other side of town, and I'd be pulling out of the dashboard, okay, here's a map of my hometown. And that's how I got home.
I remember when Verizon got unlimited data. It was like Valentine's Day one year, and I remember that they like rolled it out. It was like unlimited data plans, best day of my life.
I remember
Because my mom had that set too, where I only got like 3 gigabytes.
I only got like 2.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, I'm at school all day.
I used to not be able to use iMessage.
So as you can see, we like to go off the rails. So I'm going to put us back on track a little bit. So Maggie, what do you think has been your most fun client that you've ever had?
Oh, gosh.
And what has been the most difficult client that you've ever had? As far as like learning, because we love all of our clients.
Yeah, we love all of our clients. So I would say that the fun is funnest a word.
It's not.
The
but
most fun. The most
There you
fun.
go.
Yeah. The most fun client that I've ever had. And I'm sure I'm gonna get out of here and think of another one and be like, oh, why didn't I say that one? Anyway, so the most fun would probably be the sheriff's office, just because like there's a lot that you can do with them, and they're very fun to work with, and that's a good connection to have, I would say.
Absolutely, it is.
And so, but the most difficult would probably be Brody, just because it's like it's a whole new ball game. Like at first I had no idea what they did, so I had to research about what they did, like all of the machines that they use, so that was a lot.
Can you tell me what a compact prover is?
Yes, actually I can. It measures oil and gas. If my client is watching this, don't tell me if I'm wrong.
No further questions.
Don't ask any questions. But yeah, so I had to learn a lot about what they do and the different things that they use and all that. And so that was very difficult. It wasn't like just a client like the sheriff's office where you can post this, post that. I really had to do a lot of research with them.
And
So
it's also international, so I think
Yes.
you had to learn how to portray the message on social for international
everybody. Yes.
to see.
So that was very difficult. But we're doing great. So it's another totally different ball game because it's more business to business rather than business to consumer. Like you're not really selling stuff to Hunter out here.
Right.
You're selling stuff to businesses. And so you're talking totally different than, hey, like, come buy this today. Like, no, that ain't gonna work. So
I think that's the cool thing about Davis Marketing and something that I had to get used to because for the longest time when I was in college, I said, I'm going to work for a company. I'm going to do their marketing. I'm not going to do agency work. And that was really overwhelming at first to have to constantly change your tone, to change the ideas that you have. But it's been super beneficial for all of us in the long run because we've learned so much. I use this all the time, jack of all trades, master of none. But it's really cool to learn a little bit about a lot. And it helps us from client to client because we're always transitioning to new clients. We have some come, we have some go. That's just how it goes sometimes. But it always helps us for the future. And the new clients that we're giving, we always learn new stuff from person to person. And while it is a little difficult switching it up, I think it is super beneficial for
how much you don't even realize that you know until you're out. I don't want to say in the wild, but like out and about, and it's crazy because I'll be riding with my family. I'm like, hey, look, there's a Lamar billboard, and they're like, what? And I'm like, don't worry about it. Never mind.
Something that's been like a passion of mine for a long time because I grew up, my dad was an entrepreneur, and seeing him own his own business, I've always been super passionate about learning about different business and business consulting. And I think that's something we try really hard at DMC is, you know, Hunter kind of mentioned it earlier, is everything has a purpose. Everything has a reason why we do it. And it's because we truly care about our clients and we're always trying to do our best and we're looking at different facets, not just marketing of all businesses. And I think that's a part of like our consulting. It's not just about marketing. It's about finding, you know, any cracks in the business that we can help with or finding things that maybe they didn't think of. And because as a business owner or an employee of a business, sometimes it's hard to see when you're in it every single day. You know, certain things that you may miss of, oh, we haven't been doing this, but we work, this is our job. We're the professionals, the experts, as I like to say, on marketing, and we want to be there for clients. Just like I'm not going in my bathroom to fix my toilet, I'm calling a plumber. So if you're wanting to, you know, get better with your marketing and stuff like that, that's why you would hopefully come to us. But we're always constantly training and trying to learn new things and doing different classes and stuff, going to trade shows, all kinds of stuff. So that's what we're trying to work on and trying to be the experts in our field, and we learn every day. And
I think that's the thing about marketing, though. You have to realize it changes every day, so you have to evolve as it's evolving.
Yep.
Like it's like a train, and if you ain't on that thing, you getting lucky.
I think the biggest thing is like for business owners and the people that are in, you know, just anybody in general that is making the marketing decisions for their company is just as people in life in general, we all wear so many hats. Mm-hmm. If you're a professional and you are an expert in your industry, you know, social media marketing isn't just posting on social media. It's this entire, you know, spectrum of different things. And, you know, by the time you educate yourself, you know, if you have the extra time, you know, by the time you educate yourself on all that, it's probably changed. So
True.
It takes a long time to become an expert in any field. It's not just like a hobby you can pick up and hope takes off for your business. You know, it's, you know, having those people to really invest in it, that understand it, and their job is literally to keep up with everything that's changing. Mm-hmm. I think that's the biggest thing. Don't wear too many hats, guys. They're gonna fall off.
Yeah.
And it's bad luck to wear more than one hat.
Didn't know that. Wow. Love.
I didn't know that either.
So how do you respond to how quickly things are moving then? Like, do you just like see things when you're scrolling social media, like when you're at your house? Like, how do you?
So, me personally, I feel like one thing I really like to look out for is there's a this thing called the Artlist Trend Report, and it gets released, I think it's usually in the beginning of Q4 of every year. But anyway, basically predicting all the trends for the next year. And it's a very long, informative report of basically just everything, marketing, social media, film, you name it, anything in kind of our field of what's going to be popular for the next year. So I like to scan through that, but then also just, having some enrichment time on the iPad.
Sure.
In your quiet space, just scrolling a couple of minutes a day, hours a day.
I would say that LinkedIn has a lot of good stuff. Normally I follow a lot of marketing people on there, and so every week they release marketing trends this week, and so it tells you a lot about what's to come on different social media platforms, and so that's always good. But I think also you have to do it for yourself too. I'm gonna be honest, I do scroll more than I should on my phone. And so I think that helps too, because I'm seeing what's doing good and what's not. Because the algorithm is crazy, because you can put something out and it do really, really good, or you can put something out and you're like, this is gonna do good, I know it is, and it flops. So it's really about knowing your target audience. We already talked about that. And knowing what and when to post and what's going to resonate with people well.
There's really a formula to it.
It is,
Yeah, it really is.
It's kind of like math.
Science.
Yeah.
Math.
Math. You thought you would get away from it, but something that we get our interns to do, pretty much every single intern that comes through here, whether they're graphic design, social media, PR, anything, is we always get them to look up new trends. And so graphic design trends, marketing trends, and I think that's super important, because sometimes we do get bogged down in our daily work life and we don't have time to do the research like we like. So it's really awesome that we have the interns, one, getting educated on the things that are trending right now, marketing wise and in real life, and then they can always bring back their research to us, and so they're keeping us informed on their findings and stuff like that. So I think that's always super helpful when we have our interns help us out with that.
And plus, we have a whole entire doc now with marketing resources for our personal growth. I mean, YouTube channels and podcasts that we listen to, and newsletters and blogs that we're subscribed to, that just kind of file through our notifications, and we can see just little updates that are happening. So I think, like you would in any industry, just staying up to date, like Maggie said, LinkedIn, listening to, utilizing your resources.
The idea for the roundtable came from seeing YouTube videos of other people doing roundtable experiences. So because of that, that's where we got the idea from. That's where we got the idea of how to set it up, the camera work, all that kind of stuff. So even just that alone, even just this idea alone, as well as the podcast in general too, it really speaks to that, to doing research.
And I hope this podcast is something that, we're here to educate others, but we're hoping to learn from y'all as well, and just get different questions that you might have, learn different things. And unless anybody else has anything, then I think we might wrap it up. Does anybody have any questions or anything like that?
No, I don't think so.
Love it. So if you would subscribe to us, follow us on social media, leave us a comment on any social media, and we'll hopefully answer your questions. And thank you so much. I'm so excited for this to go out, and I love y'all.
Yeah,
I do. Okay, bye.